Oh, well, she aced the umbrella test.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She could have cared less about the umbrella. Oh, yes.
You brush her a lot, don't you?
Oh yeah.
She has a beautiful coat.
She is butt sensitive though. She's fine until I get to about there. Then her head comes
Yeah,
around.
her rear part is more sensitive than her upper part.
This is not going to be.
How about her paws being touched?
I do cover it.
Is there a problem?
I massage her feet all the time.
She loves having her feet massaged.
That's good. That's all good. Then.
Yeah,
Good.
she loves
That's good.
loves having her paws massaged. Oh,
How about ears?
ear?
Touching the ears. Okay, good.
I had to give her.
What?
Oh, Irene's wearing a hat.
Oh, hats. Hats don't
Hats
bother
and
her.
sunglasses. That's good.
That doesn't bother her.
Okay.
And you've often worn sunglasses here. She doesn't react.
Jackets.
No, because she's used to, oh my God, in Canada, all the jackets.
everybody wears that
Everybody's
stuff.
wearing all of that stuff
Okay.
all the time. So that's never an issue.
Okay, walking on a loose leash. Yeah. Yeah, here, I'll do it.
Walking on a loose leash is never a problem for her. Is it, honey? Is it? No.
We're a crowd. 3 people is technically a crowd. So
Right.
you can all stand right here. Come stand right here. And then you'll just walk her intervene the left okay. Stand right here, Irene. Just sort of walk around and you walk around with her.
Okay.
Where am I?
Just sort of here.
Here? Okay.
And we're just sort of walking around and you just walk your dog through.
So you just walk through us.
Exactly. Yep. This looks good. Yeah, it looks good. Mr. Kratz.
We took her to a busy nightclub. She slept.
She was on the floor, just lying there on the floor.
No, it was a tiki bar.
Tiki bar in Hollywood, and she just, with the loud music, there must have been 120 people in there, and no problem at all. Loud music. She just looked up, looked around. She was interested, but people even like stepped on her. She didn't react.
Wow.
I mean, this dog was just, people couldn't believe how mellow she was.
3 people being a crowd is nothing.
It's nothing to her. And well, all the people on the boat,
Usually what it is, about 3 people that they have,
Yeah.
3 or 4 people in a group.
and all the
They
people,
don't
and all the
have 20 or 30
and all the people on the boat waiting to get the people waiting to get
she'll
in.
do great
Oh
with
my
that.
God, she's been
The
fine.
only thing to work on would be just different dogs and just getting her to settle. And 'cause she gets excited. I think she's excited. She wants to play.
Yeah.
The only other thing is the greeting, that she doesn't jump out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, those are the only 2 things that I
Only 2
really worry
things.
about.
Is the big thing of her jumping up when it's a new person. She's excited to meet somebody
That's right.
new, and she's affectionate and she wants to say hello.
Jump up and say hi.
That's her big impulse. That's hard with her to make her stop that. And it's always when it's
better.
first. When she gets to know them, it's okay.
do it anymore,
It's when
yeah.
she first meets somebody new she wants
Well,
to.
what you can do too is you can just sort of guide that leash so that she doesn't have the ability to pop up on the person.
That's true. If
So as
you
you go to do
keep
the-
a little tension on the leash on her collar, you can prevent her from jumping up.
And you don't want to have tension where she goes, hey, there's tension, now I'm nervous.
Right.
Oh,
You
you know
want
what?
there to just be enough loose leash that she can't physically jump up. So if she makes the attempt, you're blocking her.
Well, one of the things that I've done that I've actually learned since getting the martingale is if I see, like, say there's a dog that I'm not too sure about, she'll sit, and then I put my fingers in the collar, and then she can't.
Gives her a message.
Even
Yeah.
with somebody who she's not
That's right.
too sure about.
Exactly, that's perfect. And it just teaches her not to do the jumpy thing, and just to relax. And this is a nice reward for her in what she just did with the dogs, with
Yeah.
people, with the brush, with Irene coming over and touching her ears and her feet
Yep.
and her body,
Mm-hmm.
doing the brushing, all of that. So this is a nice little reward for having, because again, we can't take any of those things for granted.
No.
Those are all things that can become uncomfortable for a
done well.
She did really well today. She even did well with a brand new dog.
Yeah, she
So,
did.
And she got to a
She
point
never
where they could
lunged.
do
A few barks, but never a lunge or anything
That's
like that.
actually really good. And she never really physically, except for one or two little smells, got to go up and really meet Gracie. And
Yep.
she never kept saying, hey, 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 I'm not stopping until I get to meet this
No, she
dog.
didn't.
So she finally got to a point where, okay.
She focused her attention on other
That's
things.
exactly right. I'm just going to go with my
Yep.
handler.
Yep.
And I'm going to do my thing with my handler. So that
was
was
good.
really good. And I think she's going to do better with walk-by greetings than face-to-face greetings. I think that's a better option for her, is a walk-by greeting versus a face-to-face greeting.
Do you have a choice during a test?
Yeah,
Oh.
some of the evaluators will let you do like what Irene was doing, where you just sort of
walk-by
walk by
greeting.
and shake hands and then off you go.
Well, that's good to know.
So, versus them standing
Yep.
there and then they're right in each other's face. It's better to sort of do that.
Do a
Well,
walk-by
I could
greeting.
email
The person
her
who's
name
going
is
to give.
Dorna,
Yes.
and say, okay, I know that this is the way she is. You know, could I do it this way?
Right.
She does better with walk-by greetings
And
than
she
face
may
to.
also, with Dorna's dog, maybe different
No problem.
than she
Yeah,
does with
we-
Gracie.
Maybe more like Luca.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no
She's
problem.
like, hey, you're
Right.
good. Yeah.
Right.
So you
Exactly.
may end up having just the right
Right.
mojo of dog too.
True.
But even with a dog that she
Mhm.
could perceive as a little bit more serious,
Right.
she did really well.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she
But
did.
the key was, you'll notice, we didn't get upset with her.
No.
We didn't put more pressure on her.
We didn't stamp our
didn't-
feet and yell.
Because then all you do is make her more nervous.
Exactly.
Then you give her cause and reason to feel uncomfortable, right, in the
Yep.
presence of whatever it is, the dog or whatever. So, and I would say that would do more harm than good.
I got to ask you about this feeding thing. She said to us with her food that if we put her food down and she doesn't eat it right away, we should take the food away from her for the rest of the, just take her food away and not give it to her. And that we have to make sure she eats it right then and there. That
Not
seems
if
ridiculous to
not
me.
if, not if there's
Her-
not. If there were 3 or 4 other dogs in the house,
But there aren't.
I would.
That's the thing, there aren't.
I would, then
She
why?
has been used to
Why?
having a bowl of food she can go to when she feels
Well,
like it. You know that.
If you were going to use food and she was not motivated by the food that we were going to use, then I might say, okay, give her food in the morning, and whatever she doesn't eat, pick it up so that when we come to the training later.
Well, yes, that's
so
yeah,
that,
maybe.
But to take the food away from
She
her
said on a
is-
daily basis, having nothing to do with training.
And what was the reason for it?
When you offer her with the food, she said you should sit there eating and make her see you eating with the fact that you're holding a bowl of food you're going to give her. What? You have to do that for a dog? What? I've never encountered that. That seems silly to me. No. No. I mean, my
To me,
goodness.
when you give a dog a bowl of food, leave them alone.
That's it.
Let them enjoy their food.
She has her food and she knows when she's hungry. Sometimes she is, sometimes she isn't.
Free feeding, you know, there's 2 schools out there. Some people are into free feeding and some people don't free feed.
Well-
and again, the only time I say, there's only 2 times. Like
If there's
I
a
said,
test, if there's going to be a test or
if
something.
you
Yeah.
need them to be hungry,
Right.
then you and I are not going to eat like the whole thing.
Right.
We'll just have a light snack and then you and I will have dinner, right? Because if not, if you eat and you eat that whole big giant lunch,
You're not going
we're
to.
not going to enjoy our dinner together.
No, of course.
It's the same with a dog. They'll
Right.
probably eat it, but they won't. So when they come out to train, if you train with a satiated dog, they may not be as motivated.
Exactly right.
When you train with a hungry dog, there's more motivation.
Right.
So, but I don't see why if you have a dog that lives by herself,
Mm-hmm.
why she can't have.
Exactly.
You know, she would nibble on it.
Well,
when
she lives with
needed
3
it.
cats, but the cat's food is up on a place where she can't get to. So it's her food, and the cats are not interested
see that as a
in her
problem.
food at all. So
Like some of
yeah.
the stuff she was coming up with, I was just
What?
If it were in the right context, it would make sense to me. If it were in the right context.
This was on an everyday. This wasn't a specific context. This is how you
But
should
what was
always
her
be
reasoning
with.
behind that? What was her?
So that she
thought?
eats at a specific time. She should always eat.
It wasn't that, it was to show dominance.
To show dominance, but she said she should eat when you put the food down. Whenever you put the food down in front, she should eat right then and there. She shouldn't be allowed to eat later on when she feels like it. She should eat exactly when she's fed, and then you take the bowl away, and then you put the bowl in. She eats, and she knows that you're the boss, that you are the giver of food. And she's into the totally pack mentality thing. That's her big thing. Kept talking about the pack, their pack mentality, and you have to be the pack leader and all of that. And I mean, it's,
Yeah.
that has been kind of left.
The other
a bit
thing is, a lot of
behind
times you
nowadays.
won't have a dog who has weight issues
Yeah.
if you just sometimes have free feeding and they nibble throughout the day.
And she doesn't have weight issues.
And so, whereas some dogs, if they get really hungry and you lay the food down, they gobble it all up and they don't know when the next chunk of
Yeah.
food's coming. Then they can become more, I'm going to eat whatever
Because
you
she
give
gets
me.
little treats when she does things and whatever, because she's used to the fact that that's not her only food during the day, so she's not voracious about her food. You know, sometimes
I mean,
she's hungry,
I
sometimes
would get
she's
it
not.
If she was using it saying that the dog wasn't motivated by food because the dog was too full. then I'd
Exactly.
say, okay,
No.
for a little while, let's.
Oh no,
let's-
she's
that
very
would make
good with
sense.
treats. She's good with her food. She eats when she's hungry, but she's always up for a treat.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we
Yep.
all?
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't put much merit in that.
No, we didn't.
And Grant, now in our
We didn't,
home,
but-
we do have feeding patterns.
Yes.
Because we have 3 dogs.
Well, that's different. You have
And
multiple
that's-
dogs.
Right,
That's,
and so they all have their.
it was the
little
same thing
place.
in our friend Karen's place. She had 6 or 7 dogs, so there was feeding time. It was a
all finished
particular.
it up.
They did, and some of them had to eat in separate areas, or they would
That's
fight.
right. That's
So
exactly
these
right.
2 are okay with you, but this one is not. This one has to be fed in a cage. This one is food aggressive and has to be over by herself, and yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yes,
if you
it
have
does.
Resourcing and all that stuff.
But you got one dog that has no.
That's another thing.
You know.
She doesn't have an issue with resource guarding anything. She's not resource guarding anything. So you're.
No,
it's
she
not like
isn't.
There are reasons why we do certain things.
Although I did joke with her the other day that if we took her to Santa Anita, she might learn how to do some racehorse guarding. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Be like, okay, my seat, my seat.
I wonder how she'd be around horses. She's been around horses,
Yeah,
actually.
we took her.
Pretty chill.
We did take. She was pretty good, wasn't she?
She was a little unsure of them.
Curious, but she didn't freak out or anything. She was just like, "What is this?
Like, what are you?
Yeah, what is that?"
Like a big dog. It's
Yes.
like a big dog.
Right.
Probably eats bigger
But
sticks than I
it
do.
smells different than
Yeah,
a dog.
exactly.
That's right.
I think I'll roll in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll eat some.
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
hey.
oh boy. Yeah.
And she's having the time of her life now.
Isn't she?
How'd I do today?
Aw. She did good. You did
Really,
good.
really well.
You did good.
Well.